message that she wants.
All right. Okay. Here we go.
You cut off before I said that.
What? Before you said what?
Nothing. Never mind.
All right. Welcome to the POS podcast. This is episode 177. We're returning after a hiatus. And we're going to talk about some things tonight.
5 things specifically.
Yeah, five things specifically.
Then I got.
But yeah, Saber's back.
Hello, I'm back.
Are you black?
Can't
No.
answer that. You know that.
Well, he doesn't have his camera on, so we don't know.
Yeah. He's watching those.
That
old
would be
Disney
very
films
bad. Like,
yeah.
Just wearing blackface or something.
Nah.
God.
He's just like watching too many old Disney films for prepping for masturbating. Oh, Brer Rabbit! Now I tell you what. Now let me tell you.
Well, that's quite a way to start the stream, I guess.
Racism. There you go. There we go. But race isn't even here.
Well.
Wow.
The chat box isn't working. Wait, refresh that.
Fucking boxes.
Anyway, yeah, we have some stuff to talk about. Anybody want to talk about what they've been doing for the past month?
I'm mad at you for making me watch something, which we'll talk about. That's what I'm.
That's gonna be the first thing. Yeah.
Hold on one second. Where's the chat box?
Oh wait, there it goes. Okay, it's starting to work now. I was talking about on OBS. It wasn't like showing up.
Oh, Saber's actually. Oh, I didn't hear Saber. I was away. I was like, walking. I thought you were saying like, oh, Saber's out here or something like that. Hi, Saber.
Yeah, Saber's here.
Hello.
I haven't talked to you in a month, so I hope you're okay.
In a moment, yeah. I'm well. Hope you all are doing well as well.
Good.
3 wells. I'm well. I hope you're doing well as well.
Talk about
Well. Just like Paleo's favorite creature.
What?
Whale.
Yeah.
Waka.
Hero, what have you been doing now?
I've been.
Talk about your pet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got a dog.
I did get a dog. She's eating a Kong currently, getting all her nutrients.
Good.
Being extraordinarily hyper. It's funny because everything that was on like the summary for the pet is like, this is how she acts. It's all untrue. I was like, how you just lied to me? Like the only thing that was true is the way she looks, I guess.
Good.
Speaking of, let me just choke herself. Oh my god, please, 1 second. Please. Right now. Okay. I still have to have a slip lead on her because although she and my cat get along just fine, I don't want any sudden movements to go unchecked. It's like, nope, we don't do that around here. So she has a leash or a slip lead on. But unfortunately, a side effect of that is when I'm not looking at her, it's like, oh, please don't choke yourself. My god.
Oh yeah, those phases always.
Yeah, I'm like, stop wrapping it around yourself. What are you doing? Anyway, but yes, I have a dog. She's cool. She has a cute nose. Other than that,
and 2 eyes made out of coal.
This probably will mean nothing to anyone, but I cleared P5, 6, and 7S in Final Fantasy. Yay! Now on.
Yay! Good shit.
That means.
I'm a loser.
I'm
hard fights. That's what they are.
Yeah.
They release 4 hard fights every once in a while. What? As long as what?
I said as long as he's happy and he did it and accomplished something, I'm happy for him.
You're like, that's what, man. I was so close to in rock climbing on Sunday. There's like bouldering, which is what I usually do, but there's top roping, which is like the tall walls that have the harness or whatever, and they have like different ratings or whatever. And usually I can climb like a V8 a 5.8 minus. They start at 5.5 and go up to 5 really fucking high. But usually I can like at my best climb a 5.8 minus, but I almost climbed a 5.9 plus on Sunday. I was like, wow.
Nice.
Wah! Getting stronger, baby. Let's go.
Now keep your fucking elbows safe.
I know, right?
That's
I definitely got a little cut.
No, exactly. That is the thing that will fuck you. Mountain climbing, rock climbing, bouldering, all that shit. It always messes with your elbows. So that is the key. Keep that safe. Because you do not want that shit sneaking up on you.
Yeah.
You're right. Other than that, I've just been on the internet and working. That's it. That's it.
Saber, what about you?
I went to go see Gabe out in Arizona, and it was interesting out there because it actually feels like there's a level of danger. Nothing like, I mean, I guess there are things that could kill you out there, but most
Like the
likely
sun.
not. If you're the sun, if you, I guess, you're walking out like an idiot, where like if you're actually like walking out in the desert in the wrong direction with that water, that could kill you. I mean, plenty of scorpions, like a lot. Every night we go out with black lights and we just see them like easy as just that. You just shine in the direction, like, okay, it's a scorpion. There's another one. There's another one. There was lots of other kind of critters like spiders, and had a camel spider crawl on me when I was stargazing with Gabe. I made the mistake of like laying on my back because he was like laying on his back, but it was like on this elevated piece of like a fire pit built into his back porch. And I'm like, okay, well, it's elevated, so it should be okay. And I felt something crawl across me, and I was like, oh, I think I was a cricket. And I saw the camel spider walk past. I'm like, fuck me, it was a camel spider.
Luckily for you, they're not poisonous. Some guy on TikTok did a whole experiment to break that down, and like he was like,
Bitch,
"This
it
is
could
like
literally be a peace-loving hippie spider. I don't give a shit.
right." Hey, but it's
You're right,
fun.
They got those little they got those like those like four claws or four little jows or jows, like
Yeah,
Winston Churchill.
fangs.
I guess. Yeah,
Well,
but
they like have those pinchers because they have ones at the bottom. They're not just
Yeah.
fan. Yeah, it's
yeah,
like a
they're apparently more scorpion than they are spider. So it makes me feel much better.
it tastes good.
Saw coyotes. There was one that was following me one morning. A lot of wildlife, a ton of wildlife out there. I was really excited about that. Surprised too, but also not surprised. I guess nature is like, we're gonna get away where the humans aren't really are. Like we're gonna just try to stay away from humans in the desert. And I don't know, there's some irony to that. But there was a coyote that followed me around for a bit. But I didn't feel threatened. I think he was just like following because he was bored, but he kept his distance. And also I was making sure I wasn't being stupid to it either. Gabe swore that we saw a tarantula when we were driving off to go shoot guns, but we turned back and it was gone. Same thing with a rattlesnake. That was the thing I was most worried about, are snakes. I was like, I don't want to see a snake. I really, really don't, because they are out there. And Gabe, of course, had to make me feel scared because he's like, yeah, sometimes a rattlesnake won't rattle its rattle. It just bites you. I'm like, great. I don't want to go outside. There were moments where I woke up at like 3 a.m. feeling like there were things crawling on me because I was just that like afraid. But I was also like exhausted enough where I'd just fall back asleep. But yeah, it was nice. It was fun hanging out with Gabe. That was very much so enjoyed to just kind of outside of a convention environment, and even more so in his own environment, to hang out. That was nice. He has a cool house. And I'm trying to think what else we did. We went to go visit the Titan Missile Museum. That was interesting. Where I'm like, oh wow, this is where they would have shot off a nuke. Like straight up. This is where it would have happened. And they did a simulation for it and everything. It was cool. Then they had shotguns. I did Top Golf with him and his family. I had never done Top Golf before. It's actually kind of fun. It's like bowling.
Top Golf?
Yeah, it's like Top Golf is you ever see those golf ranges that have the giant nets and they're like multiple layers?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
So it's like that, but they actually make it more like a game. Well, I guess it is a game, but more like a fun game now, because like each ball has a microchip in it, and you could hit it to the flag, it'll earn points on the screen. So it's like you're bowling kind of, and it's really vibrant with cool music and lights. It's like, wow, they made golf fun. I can't believe it. That was enjoyable. They also bring you a bunch of food too. They got the waiter on standby. But what else did we do? Dune buggy. I remember the first day I got there, Gabe's like, you want to hop the dune buggy and go to the desert? Let's get to a cool place. I'm like, oh sure, why not? And he's like, dressed because there's like it rained, so dressed for mud. And I put on my shorts. and he avoided a puddle when we were driving, and he smacked right into one of those cholla cactuses where they break apart easily, and one of the cactus bits flew and stuck me right in the thigh.
Oh
And
god.
I'm like, cool. Got like some sticks to try and like pull it out. It took him like 5 times to do it because it's barbed. They're like fish hooks.
Oh.
So I'm like, great. But I wasn't being a baby about it. I was just like, yeah, it is what it is. Tons of ants. God, the ants are everywhere. And what else can I really say? What else did we really do? Every single day was packed. Every single day. There's like a few hours in the morning where we'd hang, like where I would wake up early because Gabe and Claire sleep in. Because they're night owls too. So I'm like waking up at like maybe 10
When do they
or
sleep?
11. They go to bed at Gabe, no joke, probably goes to bed around like I'd say 6 or so in the morning. He stays up late.
Oh.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun. It was I made this jalapeno cheddar cornbread because I bought them a cast iron, and I tried making them some bread, and I actually thought it was okay. It was all right. And then I had my cousin's wedding before in Nebraska, and that was I mean, it's just funny traveling from different areas and just being like, wow, like America's got a broad spectrum of different geographical locations where it can be something as boring as the cornfields of Nebraska to something as like rugged as like the deserts of Arizona, of Tucson. When I was I don't think I should share this with you all. So the airport that I had to fly in and out of is also an Air Force base. I don't know how that works, but when I was taking off, leaving the airport, there were like 6 F-16 fighters that were cutting in line, just telling us to wait, like telling like all the commercial planes just wait in line, and they just kept cutting and taking off and landing, and that was that. Took like half an hour. I'm like, really? We have to wait half an hour for these guys? Okay, I pay your bills. No. But yeah, it was a good trip. I enjoyed getting out into the world and checking some shit out and getting to see folks. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I'm so excited to be home for a month. Like,
Yeah.
The next thing I have to do is it's a friend visit up in Nova for like the last weekend of October, if even that. So it's very minor and not too far off. So I'm so excited just to get back to work, back to the gym. I'm trying to eat better. I'm just ready to actually get some like status quo under my feet. So that's where I stand.
Yeah. Jax, what about you?
Nothing. Hatred for
no.
you for making me watch bullshit. There we go.
Yeah, I've been streaming like more lately, which I put that in the description for the Twitch. I might try multi-streaming like on YouTube and Twitch at some point. Though Twitch is kind of weird about it. But I see people do it anyway because they don't get in trouble for it. So it's like, but that's a part of a topic we're going to talk about later about Twitch. Probably when Tom joins. But yeah, if you want to ask questions, you can either send in a super chat or ask on Twitter. And we're going to just go ahead and go right into our topics with the first one being the new My Little Pony series that just came out this morning. Make Your Mark, which they had the premiere, Chapter 1, back in May. And that was after they premiered the Tell Your Tale series on YouTube, because that actually premiered first back in April, I think. And that's been going on like every Thursday. There's like a new 5-minute episode on YouTube. But for this, Netflix is releasing this like first order of episodes in chunks. So we had the premiere with Make Your Mark, Chapter 1, and now we have Chapter 2 with 8 episodes. And so far, online, I've been seeing it be very divisive, as far as how this show is going. So, Jax, you can go ahead and go if you want.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Sure you don't want to be nice first? Okay.
Oh, do you want me to be nice first and then like?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, be nice.
So, I think it's an improvement over the premiere. I think the 44-minute premiere that happened in May, like it was poorly paced. It looked slightly unfinished with like some of just like the animation in general just was like a big downgrade from the movie. Like they're using like the same models and stuff, but they're just not like animated as well. But I think that's everything to do with the timing and the Hasbro and Netflix's very strict schedule with this show. But I think like what they've done with these 8 episodes, it does look better at least. And I think they fixed a lot of issues with like the lighting and stuff. And I mentioned when they did the trailer that came out earlier in the month that there were like a bunch of animation errors in that trailer. And thankfully, I was like looking for them while I was watching this morning, and they did fix them. Like there was a moment where the pony named Misty, like her horn disappears in the trailer. In that same shot in the actual show, it's there. And there's that shot where there's like an invisible phone. That's also fixed. So it seems like the trailer was just like using like unfinished clips or something. Or they just didn't catch those errors like immediately. But yeah, I think I do like it better than the premiere because it seems a bit more character focused with the episodes. I do still have my problems with it though. I'm still gonna keep watching. But I definitely see how it seems like it has a lot of Hasbro's fingerprints on it.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because of like certain things, like especially, hold on. I know like we all hate the dragon, right?
I fucking hate that.
Yeah.
It's so fucking abomination.
The dragon fucking
against nature.
sucks.
I hate that fucking dragon. It's fucking abomination piece of shit, bitch ass gummy looking piece of fuck.
Man,
Yeah.
Gummy gets way more dates to prom than this. Well, like
Yeah.
the dragon.
So yeah, from what I've heard, like the reason like Sparky is the way that he is because that's what Hasbro wanted Spike to be in G4.
Oh well, thank God.
Yeah.
Lauren.
So Hasbro's like, we're gonna get our fucking baby dragon.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that I noticed that this show so far, there's some of the sets I've noticed with Main Melody. There's that stage in the salon in Main Melody that looks very, very toyetic. And you can tell because you can see out at the bottom of that stage, there's like play buttons. And it's like, why would they be there? Why would they be that big? It's like, oh no, it's because it's designed after the play set. So it's like,
right.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of toyetic things. Like, My Little Pony is a toy franchise first, so I kind of expect that stuff. We had some of that stuff in G1, not G1, like G4. So I do expect that kind of stuff. But I think there's going to be a lot of growing pains with this series, especially going forward. Like I think especially this first season is just going to feel very off. And we'll see if it improves.
You'll see if it improves. I don't know.
Yeah.
You talking we? Who's we? You French now?
We?
Like, what are you talking about? Yeah. Okay.
I've only seen 2 hours. I finished the second episode while Saber was talking a lot. I was listening to Saber. That sounded like I was like, "Hey, Saber, shut up!" But no, I was just like doing both at the same time. But yeah, the pacing feels bad in the first and second episode. I don't know if it fixes itself from 3 to 8, but these first 2. Also, there have been like 2 jokes that have made me laugh. I'm like, okay, so it's not like absolutely just no fun allowed.
Yeah, one of the things I like is like some of the background ponies. Some of the dialogue from the background ponies actually makes me laugh.
Sometimes.
I don't know if it's the monitor that I watched the second episode on compared to the first episode, but like it was like early morning at the beginning of the second episode. I was like, why does the color feel so bad? Oh my god. So I might have to try and watch that on another monitor, but like I switched it in between all 3 of my monitors just now. And I was like, the colors look bad on the second episode. I don't know, that's weird. But yeah, I don't know. it's not like they're not trying to tell jokes or have fun things happen, but it's just like they aren't hitting. The characters feel annoying and stupid, if I'm being honest.
They Flanderize them. They Flanderize Izzy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you compared Izzy is
compared to the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Hitch is being annoying and stupid.
Yeah,
Oh my
like,
God, that's what I'm so worried about. I was so worried about it, and the movie made me feel good that it wasn't gonna be like that. And then here comes the show. I'm like, fuck, what's happening? He's fucking.
Did he say what in the movie?
Yeah, he said what in the movie?
Did he say it like that?
I don't know.
Because that's like his catchphrase. Just what? It's like, all right, get it. Fucking shut up. Okay.
And as we've gone over already, the dragon fucking sucks. I thought it was so lazy the way that they broke in the song in the first episode. It was like all of my songs, like this one. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah,
it was so lazy. Not having a good time so far, but
it gets worse.
Yeah, it does.
There's a moment where I just finished watching all of it before the stream with Laura, and it sucks because like I feel like I can kind of pinpoint where we are on the vibe spectrum, where it's like we want to be excited and we understand that we've got like nostalgia creating some bias that makes it a bit more difficult for G5 to impress us. But also the film, the initial movie, was pretty darn good.
Yeah.
And it's at a pretty high bar. And then it's like, oh shit, can they actually keep up? I think visually, like there are moments where I'm like, gosh, these ponies look so tired. Like they got that. And I'm like, I don't know what the issue is, lighting or what, but it looks weird to me, and I wish that wasn't a problem. But I'm a lot more forgiving of the visuals, because I'm like, there are a lot of visually impressive things about the show, considering it's just that it's a show, not a movie.
Yeah. I really like the intro. Like the intro they made, I think looks good.
I really like the girl, the villain girl, who is 100% going to get redeemed. Like obviously.
Oh, Misty.
Obviously. Like I looked at her and saw her make like a sad face. I was like, oh, you're gonna get redeemed. Like immediately.
Yeah, she's.
I don't know when it's, but yeah, her hair's nice.
Oh no,
Yeah.
It's the writing. It's the writing that's getting me, because there's this show. To no one's surprise, I don't know why I'm like, oh, Hasbro did what? Like it's a product. It really is, and it's very basic writing, very basic stories, and very basic hallmarks of My Little Pony and what they're trying to accomplish, which is pushing merch. And trying to make it a bit more, I guess, modernized and accessible for kids on their phones, because that's how they're gonna be digesting it. So I can just feel the fingerprints of Hasbro's marketing department just licking and humping this property. And
why?
You know why. But there was an episode where I feel like it's spoilers, but like literally, who cares? Where, I mean, do you all actually care?
Does the
seen all the shit.
Yeah, does the chat care?
No, they don't care. Why are you here?
I'm gonna put spoilers just in case. I have a spoiler tag up, so go ahead.
Okay, so in like the final episode, or second to last one, so episode 7 or whatever, Misty is trying to infiltrate, I guess, the main 5s, like, well, I guess main 4 this particular episode. Tried to have a sleepover, and I kind of like that they like Izzy is like, oh, I thought it was only a unicorn, so Misty, cool to see you. But like Misty's trying to steal like the lantern of Sunny, and she is like talking outside the window to her Opaline, whatever, like communication device, and she's like screaming, like, and nefariously laughing with the actual main characters sleeping in the sleeping bags like 10 feet over. I'm like, okay, well, first off, that's stupid. Like, you suck at your job. And then she actually successfully steals the lantern, and she's like, I gotta hide it. And she hides it like in a garden, like halfway deep. So it's very obviously that it's like someone buried something here, which is why Pip found it, because Zip's trying to find it. Zip's trying to be a detective, and Pip's like, oh my gosh, my sister's having so much fun.
Because her thing's glowing.
Yeah,
She's
looking
having so much
for
fun because her cutie mark's glowing.
she's having so much fun looking for this lantern that I'm not going to tell Sunny I found it or Zip. I'm gonna keep hiding it. That way Zip can have fun being a detective, even though this is not my decision to make, really. It's Sunny who should know, but the lantern not missing. So I'm like, well, Pip, you're fucking stupid. Zip, you're fucking stupid. Misty, you're fucking stupid. I'm like, all these characters are fucking stupid. There's
They
a
are.
scene where like Misty's hiding in a boutique and she puts her head under a little like blow thingy, and Zip is like, where'd she go? She must not be here. Like a Skyrim guard, and then just leaves. And it's like, look to your left, I guess. Whatever. I feel like that's my biggest complaint, and my biggest fear is that like the writing is very generic and feels like it's been a product. Like
Yeah.
I can only imagine how many write-ups they got for, like, I'm sure Jillian wants to expand more and do more with G5, but like where G4 was like, Hasbro saying we don't care. No, now we do care. They're probably went to
Right.
this generation to being like, we're really
Yeah.
caring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is about with this is that when I watched G4 for the first time, when I watched like through the entire first season, I was like, I want to watch that again. Where with this,
Yeah,
when I'm watching
exactly.
it, I'm like, I'm not gonna watch this again, probably.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, I watched the
shit.
movie though. Like the movie
No, the movie
is incredible.
was great.
I watched it like more than 10
multiple times
So
in the
yeah.
same day because it was
Yeah.
fucking good. But yeah, this show, I'm just gonna go in. All right, so this show, here's my opinion. All right, first off, I'm not gonna. So let me look at this perspective like this. All right, so there were some things I did like. There were some jokes that made me laugh. I don't remember them, but like there were some things that did make me go, "Ha, that's funny."
There
Or
was
do the
that one
right
time
look.
when like Sunny turned into an alicorn and like this random background pony said, "Oh no, she didn't." Like what?
Yeah, some shit like that. Like stuff like that is fine. But like, there are also like some like good lessons every now and then, just like, oh, they should like you for you. I was like, yeah, fuck them people who don't like you unless you're like this way. Or like the whole thing with like, yeah, stop eating fucking junk food is bad for you, fat fucks. And it's just like, yeah, that's good shit. Like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, fucking tell them shit like that. And then what?
There was a scene where I'm like, okay, again, all the characters, literally all of them are stupid. Because there was a scene where Opaline gets on her little cell phone makeup thing and is like, hey, look, Sunny, I'm you. And Sunny's like, oh my gosh, it's another me. And it's like, wait, Sunny, are you not going to verify this? You're not going to even be suspicious for literally a second?
Yeah.
And there's a part where I'm like, okay, well, maybe she's just too excited. And then Opaline, Sunny's like, wait, your greatest dreams are garden? And it's like, yes, me. My deepest dreams are wait, shouldn't you know that?
Yeah, shouldn't you fucking know this? It's like, so like it was whatever. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm just gonna be blunt about this. 95% of it reminds me of like the CGI like preschool shows I used to watch with my niece when I was babysitting her, versus like G4, which was like it felt more like an everyone show like Gravity Falls or PPG. Like there was stuff with G4 where you rewatch and it's like this feels like a genuine cartoon made for everyone. The VAs in G5 are fine, but the G5 show just it does not hit the same way, and it just like this CGI again. The fact I really do think they should have kept the make your mark special. Is that the one? Or is it which one is it?
Tell
Is
your
it
tale.
is it Tell Your Tale or Make Your Mark? Yeah, which one's the shorts? The 2D
shorts
one.
Is Tell Your Tale. Yeah,
Tell Your Tale. I really think they should have kept that sort of style because like the 3D, like I don't know, there are some scenes where I'm just like, yeah, this just isn't hit for me. Like this really isn't hit for me. I'm trying, like, because I actively was giving it like so much leeway. And I'm like, I'm really trying to like this. I'm sitting down. I'm actively giving you the benefit of the doubt. But no, it's just like they flanderize most of the characters. And again, it's just like it ironically was funny is like the CGI strawberry shortcake that felt very much preschooly. They like have done a new version, which is 2D, which is more like MLP Fim. And it's just like, what did y'all switch? Like how y'all doing this now? Because like that's what it really feels like.
Izzy's VA is like strawberry shortcake in that. I think.
So there you go. Yeah. That's crazy. But yeah, it's just like it doesn't feel that good. I hate that fucking baby. I hate that shit.
Yeah.
It's just I think overall, like it was just not grabbing me. Like I was trying my hardest just like to be a part of this. Like, okay, yeah, this is interesting. And like I agree with like what Hero said. Like I do really like the Pokemon girl, what Misty, yeah, whatever fucking name is. Yeah, like I like she's chill, she's cute, she's gonna be good and stuff like that. But it wasn't anything that made me go, yeah, I want to definitely sit back and watch this. Like most of the stuff, I was just like, this is dull. I'm like, how many hours left? I was like, oh fuck. And so like another thing is it didn't pass my I give everything like a 5 episode rule. If I love something, I'll give it 10 episodes. Like the most I've ever given something is Ultimate Drake Bell after years of loving Spectacular Spider-Man, because I was like, okay, I'll give this. It's a new Spider-Man cartoon. I'll watch it. I gave that show 15 fucking episodes, and that shit did not grab me in those 15. So you fucking failed there. So in my opinion, with this one, I'm not gonna hold it too much because it feels more like it's going for the target demographic, like you said, very toyetic, where it's just like, hey, we're fucking little kids and stuff like that. And so since it felt like 95% of those CGI shows I used to watch with my niece when I was babysitting, I'm not gonna front it and be like, what, a My Little Pony show that's not for adults? How dare you? Oh, fucking bullshit. So I'm just gonna be like, okay, fine, whatever. It just doesn't hit for me the same way. So I'm not gonna fault it for that. Okay. But I think like overall it was just it just felt very to me. Like it was just like it wasn't anything that was like, oh my god, I'm loving all these characters, I'm loving everything they're doing, I'm loving all the stuff that they're showing, these songs, they're like fucking great or something like that. Like no. Like I was looking at it very non-biased, because I was actively trying to give you the benefit of the doubt, and I was just like, no, it wasn't doing it. It just did not feel anything. Sunny, who's my favorite, there were so many episodes with her where I'm just like, Sunny, you're smarter than this, babe. I know you are. Like I know you are smarter than this. Izzy, there are some times where I'm just like, oh honey,
You're getting
like,
annoying.
yeah,
Getting
what
annoying.
yeah, exactly. It's like you're getting fucking annoying. Zip is the only one I'm like, yeah, you know what, Detective Rainbow Dash, I can deal with this. Like Pip, she went back and forth with me. Like Hitch, I completely was just like, all right, this beta needs to shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
No, I can't. I fucking
yeah, I
hate
agree with
this.
Pip. Like Pip's been going back and forth with me a bit, because like sometimes I'm like, yeah, that random singing stuff is starting to get annoying. But also,
Right.
I like the fact that she's worried about being shadow banned. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, exactly. That's a valid thing. What were you saying, Saber?
No, I mean, like, yeah, there are moments where I'm like, come on, Pip, that's a little bit dumb, or you're acting a bit weird. All the characters except for Sunny. Well, like, no, I think even Sunny had her moment where.
No, Sunny did have a couple moments where it's just like, babe, come on now.
Right. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, like this is just there's just that's the thing, and I blame Tom. Tom's maybe a lot more, I guess.
Yeah, fucking Tom. Why'd you have to go and make it a fucking preschool show? My Little Pony's for adults in their 30s, and you had to go make this shit fucking for 5-year-olds. Fuck.
Agree.
Damn.
No,
I say it just seemed like the right thing to do.
I guess why I bring up Tom is like, Tom, I mean, like, you're just making me more, I guess, alert to good writing and to bad writing.
I'm starting the Saber Spark cynical arc, and you're gonna lose all your subscribers and all your patrons because they're just like, what happened?
It was like, why does this guy hate everything?
It used to be fun. No,
Yes.
but like, honestly,
hatred.
hack frauds. But I was gonna say is, yeah, I guess I just hear the writing and follow the story, and I'm just like, it's also corporate, also calculated, always it's so
Also
neutered,
preschool.
well placed for product placement, and product placement as in, like, no surprise. Why am I even going to pretend I'm surprised? But I guess I was hoping for, there's something about G4 with its writing that felt like, okay, like this, the having no technology made it feel more fanciful or whatever. And like, oh wow, this magic and princesses and queens and castles and villages and I don't know, there's something about that atmosphere that fit much better with the characters, felt more exciting. This one with the internet, I understand why they have it there, but it's from a very insincere place with its marketing, with trying to be hashtag relatable. And then just hearing, like, I feel like the writing is definitely dropped in quality from the movie to the show. Because for the movie, the characters even felt more like themselves. Where I'm like, oh, I feel like Izzy's character resonated more in the movie with me, and Pip and Zip. Now I feel like it's like parts of that
Toddler.
were lost. And of course the baby itself is like this nuclear bomb of like it needs to be babies need a character to watch that they can, or little kids like babies. So it just feels like that was one for the kids, not for for the kids who watch My Little Pony. How dare
Yeah, no, exactly. That's the thing. It's like literally, I feel this show literally took a step back to be more like G2 and G3, just because it was like, let's go back to our target demographic. Because like literally, when I was watching this, I'm just like, this feels so fucking familiar. I'm just like, yeah, this is when I was babysitting my niece watching this stuff. I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I
like,
think
I'm
I
not
think they're trying to satisfy like they're trying to satisfy both demographics without like doing it.
See,
See, what happened was they're like,
Yeah.
guys, we need to be very cognizant of what we're doing right now. We're making a 3D My Little Pony show with a video game that is public. They're going to be all over these in SFM. We can't have them be interested.
Oh
The
my
damage
God.
would be astronomical.
Jesus.
Look what they did to Overwatch. We can't have that happen to us.
There was that one joke in episode 1 that actually did get like a little chuckle out of me. It was like the time I left in episode 1, where like Izzy gave Sunny the thing that she put in their hair. This is like, I made her a bracelet, but she put it in their hair, so it's that now. I was like, hey,
Right.
that's funny actually.
There's some moments. There's a moment when the background character is like, I forget the exact context, but it's like, where are you off to? He's like, I go to my mother who I love so much, or something.
I
like
love
that.
her so much. Yeah.
I thought that was cute. There's little moments where I chuckled, and even some moments where I'm like, okay, visually there's some good expressions, though. I feel like a lot of the crazy facial expressions that came out of G4 in its later seasons, it's gonna be hard to capture that energy.
Yeah.
And also there are moments where I got some animation errors in this, which I'm sure these poor animators worked massive time crunch.
There's moments I've noticed with like Misty, her mane just kind of glitches out a little bit. I was like, that's weird.
Misty's mane it will like sometimes like stop moving and then start moving really rapidly. The
Misty's
lantern,
mane definitely looks like the most complicated thing.
right.
Like in the show.
Yeah.
But
She's
probably
the
shouldn't
black.
linger on this too much. So I'm wait before like I take the spoiler tag off. The whole Twilight thing.
Yeah.
So Hero, what were your thoughts on that?
I mean, I legitimately turned off the episode. I was just like, don't give a shit about this. Like, honestly, I was like pretty upset, legitimately. I was like, damn, you can't get past fucking episode 2 without referencing the better show. I'm like, oh my God.
And then like, it's just like, it starts to make you question, all right, like, why was she in that form? Shouldn't she be a bigger alicorn? Like, it's just like, what the fuck there?
Yeah,
like,
that's why I was saying that like they're trying to satisfy both demographics but failing at
They
it.
gotta be able to use the same mold so they can sell the Princess Twilight toy.
Like it probably would have been better if like it didn't have a connection to G4. Because I know it would have been. Because I know Tom said that about the movie. But I think in the movie it was like fine. It was like, oh, it's just kind of like a little reference. But for like it to be like continuing with the show, it's like this opens
really
up so
limiting.
many things. Like
the G4 had a pretty. I mean, I don't know how much they stuck to it in the later seasons because I kind of fell off. But like for the first like 5 or so, they had like a pretty grounded set of world building, and they had like some lore. Like they established some stuff, and by tying this show to G4, like you inherit all of that just by necessity, and that just makes everything a lot more complicated. But I mean, if they're just trying to sell Twilight dolls, I mean, it doesn't really matter as far as I'm concerned, I suppose. But it does to me. I take My Little Pony very seriously.
Agreed.
In a past life. Now you're like, bro.
No, you should be free. You're free.
Just be free.
Oh, be free. Do something.
Watch other things.
Watch something.
Anyway, I'm gonna take the spoiler tag off, and I'm gonna say one last thing about ponies before we move on. So the spoiler tag's off. But yeah, My Little Pony, Make Your Mark. For this generation, I don't know if it's going to last until like 2025, probably at the latest. At least from what do you think?
Oh, I mean, I feel like G4 is lightning in a bottle. We'll never see its kind again. It's goodbye.
Right. Like, I think
Unless
if they like next generation, they do something where it's like, oh yeah, this is not going to be connected to previous generations, like they did with every other previous generation.
Right.
Well, it's also like because I was telling Paleo this about like again as a Transformers fan, I've been through this like with the different generations of shit where it's just like G1 great, G2 shit, G3 decent, G4 this little, and then it's just like this, and then there's some that are like really fucking good. There's some are amazing, then there's some that aren't. And it's just like
Yeah.
you always just gotta kind of wait your turn. But when
And the
you're a
thing is, like,
TMNT elite like me,
yeah, the thing is, like, with this is that people got their hopes up a lot because of the movie, because the movie was so good.
that's why you
So-
don't fucking make a movie to lead into a
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's why us TMNT fans are elite because we know what to do. Yeah. All four shows goaded.
Yeah, I do see it being like very divided on Twitter as far as like people who like the show and people who are like, I'm gonna pass. I mean, I'm still gonna watch it, but it's not like it's G4 for me. Whereas like, oh yeah, I would actively like rewatch episodes of G4. With this, I'm
What
not
if
gonna do
they? What if they were just like, you know what? Fuck it, get those old puppets out from G4. Just
Yeah, those old
just
Flash
do that.
puppets.
Yeah, they pull like an American Dragon, Jake Long, where the first season animation is completely different from the second season. You're just like, you know what? Fuck it, just get those old puppets out. Yeah, you know what we're doing. This will make us
Yeah.
a fuck ton of. Yeah.
Anyway,
How much do you all think that them switching to 3D was because Hasbro's like 3D is currently hot, make it 3D?
I don't know.
I just think it probably streamlines production.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like
I mean,
the
but
biggest strength
they
of
also have a
3D in
2D
general.
series though, so they're doing like both at the same time.
And isn't the 2D series better than this?
I laugh more at the 2D series,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you laugh more, it means more entertainment. And I laugh more at the
and they're
2D
only like
series,
5
which
minutes. So
And they also in the 2D series they introduce concepts in the show because like in this show like fucking Zip has like Cyclops visors and it's like where the fuck did she get that? It's like oh yeah,
no, it's from the
fucking
2D show. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like I didn't watch the
Because like
so it's just
it's both Tell Your Tale and Make Your Mark are like very connected.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's move on. Next thing, Saber can talk a lot about this stuff. Rings of Power. I don't know what it's like to be like a huge Lord of the Rings fan. Like I've watched the movies casually. So when watching this, I'm like, okay, it's a show to me, and I know a couple of characters because like they're the elves. But other than that, like there's 5 episodes so far. And there are some like there's multiple storylines going on within the show. And some of them I like better than others. I would say like the stuff with it works is pretty neat. I do really love that we have the practical effects back for that because they look really cool. And I kind of enjoy the the sort of back and forth with with Elrond and the Doran the dwarf. I've enjoyed that a lot too.
But they ruined it with them damn black hobbits, all right? Dang old hobbits should not be brown like that. That's what people online say. Whatever. Stupid.
But Saber, what have you thought about the show?
Oh gosh. I
Silent.
feel that I don't know. This has been such an interesting year of like expectations, and G5, for example, has let me down thus far. The Lord of the Rings series, actually, not so much because I had super low expectations. While deep down inside, secretly having just a little bit of an expectation. So it's like I was able to keep myself grounded. So when I watched the first episode, being like, okay, it's not complete shit. Then cool. I was like, okay, if I can keep watching. It wasn't until this most recent episode where I was like, okay, guys, come on, get moving. And that's been like the most common complaint is the pacing and how slow it moves. Because I like the slow burn. I'm like, okay, slow burns can lead to good payoffs, maybe. But this last episode, I was like, okay, come on, like there
I
needs
was
to
kind
be
of
some more
bored with
act.
it the last episode.
And I like Durin, Prince Durin, and Elrond. It's interesting seeing it lead up to what I think it's going to lead up to. The orcs look amazing, just supremely amazing. I am so happy that they brought back practical effects. It meant that they were listening to the fans and what worked for the trilogy.
Yeah, what
There's
for the
some
Hobbit and stuff. Like, because wasn't there like a CG dwarf in the Hobbit movies too?
a
During like Battle of the Five Armies, right?
oh, there was a particular Dane. He was going to be, I forget the actor's name because the guy who was the actor, he was Merida's father in Brave.
Oh,
But he was the voice of Dane, and he was supposed to be on set, but he's kind of an older gentleman, so they're like, yeah, we'll just
oh,
CGI him in. But yeah, the Hobbit trilogy went really overboard with the CG. So seeing a bit of more of a return to form for at least the more intimate moments of the Ring of Power. I appreciate live action actors and sets and prosthetics and costumes and everything. Oop.
what?
I Sorry, I thought I heard a good drum beat in the background for a second. Um, there's some lines where I'm like, it's a little bit awkward, and there's some choreography where I'm like, this feels a bit lofty with its movement, where it just doesn't feel satisfying. There's a scene with like one of the elf guys like throwing a stick into someone's neck, and I'm like, that was weird. Uh, but then there's other moments where like I I love the dwarves. I love Prince Durin's wife. She's great.
Mhm.
I feel that the elf, the woodland elf with who's like in the Southlands, and he was captured. He was the one actually who threw the stick. They were like, I thought that was kind of weird. Um, I guess I do like how the show is trying to keep you guessing, where it's like, who could Sauron be? Could it be the guy who fell from the sky, who's with the Hardfoots, or is it the guy who's with Galadriel?
Yeah,
Is it
because like
the
I was thinking it was the guy who like fell from the sky because like when they mentioned like, oh, it's not hot, is like that's what like Galadriel was like saying when they were going to like that area with the troll or whatever, whereas like, oh, it's not, or like it's not hot or whatever with the fire.
I I'm not even gonna begin to pretend to know the lore. That's the thing, is all the Lord of the Ring nerds are coming out who are like, you messed this. It's like, oh yeah, it's a Silmarillion. Of course they're gonna mess it up. And there's gonna be a lot of adaptations, and I'm okay with that as long as it's never done in disrespect. Like if you're making a choice for an adaptation to make it flow better, then I'm okay with it. Though the thing at the last episode that made me kind of scratch my head is how the elves were like, we need mithril. And I'm like, I don't think that was in the books. I don't think that makes much sense. I thought the elves had the tree of like their own light. They I don't think that I feel like the writers put that into the series, and that was never in Tolkien's lore, period. So I'm a little bit apprehensive to how they're trying to use the mithril to create a schism between dwarves and elves. Um, I don't know. I'm interested enough. I'm interested enough to where I'm coming back to be like, okay, what you got?
Yeah.
I'll take this a win. I It could have been so much worse. Apparently, Game of Thrones prequels is also rolling with the punches and holding people's attention. So
Yeah, I've heard that, but like at the same time, I was like, man, Game of Thrones ended so badly that I just have no interest right now.
I after watching, like, I watched 3 episodes and I'm like, yeah, it's okay. Um
Mm.
maybe it's something I've kind of been thinking about, because I went to go see Laura's friends this past weekend, and we went to go see Lost Highway at the Alamo, and it's a David Lynch movie with
I still need to watch that
Bill.
one.
It's interesting. I like it. And I guess I also listened to the Half in the Bag today with like Mike and Jay talking about Jurassic World and
Oh yeah.
Love and Thunder, and then Top Gun Maverick. And I think, like, I don't want to try to borrow a YouTuber's opinion, but I do feel like there's something about the current state of Hollywood where it's just product, and it just to a degree it's starting to feel disgusting. Like God fuck me. I can't believe I'm actually excited about Avatar 2. And it's because it's so weird to look at James Cameron from a multi-billion-dollar film going, oh, finally something original. Like at least it's kind of, I think that's gonna be a funny thing that if I was part of the marketing department of Avatar 2, I'd be like, we have to really work off of the Marvel disdain and be like, aren't we tired of superhero movies? Aren't we tired of just the same old Avatar 2?
Yeah, I did see there's a thing going on Twitter like about like this. I forgot who it was, some verified person on Twitter saying that like, oh, I don't know why everybody says that like Avatar didn't have a cultural impact or whatever, and people are saying like it didn't. It's like it made so much money, but like compared to like Star Wars or Marvel or like any other big franchise, it's like abysmal as far as like cultural impact.
To
had,
be
like,
fair, the Star Wars sequel.
It made some waves while it was like in theaters,
while it was in
but
theaters.
It didn't last.
And that was it.
Yeah. People were very hype about it. And I mean, the movie was obviously trying to be a visual tour de force, and that was like kind of the entire point, because the plot was very recycled and not very groundbreaking in any way, shape, or form. But I think James
and
Cameron was very
like
much...
Toon J says, like when people say Avatar, a lot of people think Last Airbender first.
Sure, of course.
You know they took out the fucking hair sex scene? Fucker.
Yeah, you told me. I saw that on Twitter.
Some bullshit, man.
Wait, they took that out of the re-release?
Yeah, they did.
Some bullshit, man. I want kids to be traumatized like my niece and nephew were when we went to go see that shit. That was terrible.
Fucking cowards.
They weren't traumatized, for anyone misconstrues that in the fucking chat. They weren't.
But anyway, back to Rings of Power, and then we'll go on to the next thing. Do you have anything else to say about it, Saber?
I hope something happens soon. That's the only thing. I think it's leading up to. I think there's gonna be a battle.
I hope there's a $1 billion battle or something at some point. Because
yeah, I mean they spent so much money on this series. There better be.
I mean, look. At the end of the day, this cost Bezos $1 billion, so it's a win no matter what. In that regard, like the dude blew $1 billion. So he's like,
I wonder if that has to do with something else we're going to talk about later.
I mean, I we'll see. We shall see. But I'm more optimistic than I am pessimistic, which is I'll take that.
Yeah.
And I think this next episode, it'll like hopefully some things will happen. They need to pick up their pace, and hopefully it'll start paying off with the slow pace they've had so far. But yeah, I guess I'm optimistic.
Yeah, I've been having fun with it, and I'm just like a casual like watcher.
Paleo confirmed casual. Clip that.
All right, next thing. Let's talk about Primal.
Yo,
season 2 ended.
Yes.
Let's go.
Fucking Primal.
Gendy does it again. No surprise.
Gendy doesn't miss. Gendy doesn't miss. Tell me when the boy misses. He endings one thing, but now don't tell me when Gendy misses. Like all the shit he's done, he gave us fucking all this great shit. All right, fucking goated. Gendy. Anytime I see his name on something now, it's just like, okay, I'm watching it. I don't care.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hope to turn Sylvania too. Let's go.
No, 3.
I mean, the animation was
I only watch
really
from
good.
Mavis. I only watch his films for Mavis. That's it. That's the only reason why.
Hey, Dragon Stance.
Primal season 2. It definitely is definitely a different vibe from season 1.
Oh, absolutely. I think that was the thing that surprised me the most was that. And I don't know if I prefer it or not. I really vibed with just everything in season 1 was just so fucking good. But at the same time, they set your expectations pretty well with the cliffhanger ending of season 1 of like things are changing next season, you know, and they did it in the most perfect way possible. And for anyone who hasn't watched the show, I almost don't want to spoil it because it was such a dude, that ending in season 1 was just like, oh fuck, shit is gonna get so real. And it did. There was a big shift in terms of like world building and just the everything expanding in terms of like things being more complicated than you expected. It went from a very kind of like singular inspiration for its world building in season 1, and then now it's like pulling from all sorts of different sources where like the kind of like cohesion of the world kind of starts to break down a little bit. But it's kind of done in the name of just creating more hype moments, which I would argue for the kind of show that this is probably a trade-off worth doing. It felt different, but it still kept the same level of quality despite having a different tone.
Right.
At least in my book.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because
the only thing I thought was weird, and I don't know if this is happening because I've just been rewatching again, is like Fang's size changes so much.
It does.
in this
It's
fucking
pretty
shit.
inconsistent. Like,
Yeah, no, I was like watching. I was like, oh my god, she's like the size of a fucking Kong here. And the other side, she's like the size of like fucking Mighty Joe Young or some shit. Where it's just like you're big, but you're not like gigantic. You're a fucking T-Rex. Why are you getting bodied by this thing?
Right.
Like it's like you're a fucking Rex. And so like that is the only thing that just like some episodes did take me
there are
out.
a lot of like size inconsistencies in the show, but like with the first season, it was like very episodic. We had like, oh yeah, it's like the monster of the week or whatever. Where this season is more story focused, whereas like, oh yeah, we're going on a set path, and this is like the antagonists that are showing up.
Yeah.
They definitely.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go for it. I was just gonna quickly say they definitely set up your expectation at the end of season 1, where like everything that happens in this season is a direct response to the end of the first season. So in that regard, it makes a lot of sense that it changes. But yeah, again, the season feels different, but not in a bad way. But yeah, keep going.
Yeah, because I know one thing I think this show is absolutely a master at is the fucking empathy for people you never thought that you would like have empathy for. Like, because there's so many like characters in this show, like even our main characters who do things they have to do to survive, and then they like meet these other characters, and then it's like, okay, you are a horrible person, and like you've done horrible things, or you meet a creature, you've done horrible things, but you understand why they're doing it. And that is something I think is just like, because like it's like Primal is, in my opinion, is about like people who do horrible things because it's just the way the world is, but that doesn't mean we are any less human when it comes to like living out like primal nature or some shit like that, right? Like for example, like the Viking, right? Like I'm not going to talk about what happens like until spoiler or some shit like that, but like the whole thing with him and his character is like, we know this person has done horrible things and the shit like that, but that didn't make him or any of his like companions less human. They still had like families and lives and experienced like profound loss. And like I thought that was just absolutely brilliant, how it's like you're doing something with your villains or antagonists where it's just like, okay, instead of just like, I'm evil because I'm evil besides that one fucking bitch, and it's like, I'm just evil. Fucking like, yeah, it's just like they go through it to show like a lot of people misinterpret like humanizing antagonists as like is like you're forgiving them, like, oh, I forgive that this person did this horrible thing. It's like, no, it's not about forgiving them. It's about accepting that we're all people who share that spark, which makes us like special in a way where we're just like where all of us like do things like whether it be selfish or not and like completely different things, but like with him doing all those fucked up things, there's like this level of when you see what happens later with him, I'm trying my hardest not to spoil it. It's just like you feel that like compassion for the character, even though they did. It's sort of like that movie. What was that movie, The Northman, that came out? Like, was that it?
Yeah, I haven't seen it. So
okay, well, yeah. Well, I'm not going to spoil anything about that movie, but that movie feels very much like the episode of Primal with this stuff, because it's just like, oh, we follow these characters, they do horrible things, we see them do horrible things, but we can still empathize with what they're going through and why they're doing it, and even though we don't condone, we can understand. So I just think that is just brilliant with like most of the stuff in like Primal. Even like one of the later antagonists, like first time you see one of the bigger antagonists, like the big slave guy, it's just like, oh, fuck this guy, he's a piece of shit, and then it's just like, oh,
yeah, like
immediately, that is heartbreaking
too.
Yeah. It's just like, oh man, oh fuck, dude. And then like that one thing, I was just like, fuck that. So yeah,
I do want to just go ahead and go into spoilers, because like there's a lot of different things. So I'll put the spoiler tag up. But one thing I do want to mention, like just immediately, is that the ending felt very quick.
No, it was very
Yeah.
rushed. Like
Yeah.
it was. There's a thing with Gendy and like endings. Apparently, like they've been rushing him like to do it because like if it was like a 60-minute special or a 90-minute or something like that, like that would have been awesome. But
Like
the fact
I
that it was
thought,
just
I
like
thought it was going to be a cliffhanger, like with you
same.
seeing the like the Viking guy burning up, and I thought he was like going to be coming through the forest. It's like, oh yeah, and that's the cliffhanger for season 2.
Yeah, because I even was like, I was watching on HBO Max, and I was like, I was pausing it, and I was like, wait,
there's only 5
how
minutes
long
left.
was this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's 5 minutes left. It's like, what's going to happen? I was like, oh shit. Yeah. Oh, sorry, who was talking? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it definitely. I mean, I think we talked about this on Twitter actually. Well, we were talking about the ending, and I had said there's an episode halfway through this season that has basically nothing to do with the rest of the show. It's like a complete standalone episode that takes place like in like I think 1800s London.
Yeah, in London 1800s, like with like
nothing
a young
to do with any of
like
the show.
It just Charles Darwin.
Yeah, it just shows up and it's like a comment on like I guess like Darwinism and shit. And just
well,
kind of
I think it's like a sort of like a pseudo. I don't even know if they're like trying to connect it of like, oh, this is what happened to the world. Like people just went primal, like literally.
It's interesting. There's a lot of things you can like extrapolate in terms of like theories on what it's trying to say. Obviously, thematically, you get it, right? Because like it's saying that like Fang is or Spear is everybody. It's like because like that's all kind of like our nature underneath social conditioning and things like that. It's a really good 20 minutes of cartoon. Like it's great. The problem is we have a really rushed ending, and this served no purpose.
Well, also to add on to that, because I looked into it because I was researching like stuff like after, because I was just like, oh, fucking Primal season 2 is so great, and like I was looking up an interview with Gendy, and he said like he intended Primal to be like an anthology type thing.
Yeah,
so
that's
like
kind of what the first season feels like. With like, oh yeah, we have these weird like different situations, like with the zombie sauropod was really cool.
Exactly. No, because it's like with the whole thing with the future thing. So like, well, we're on spoilers now. It's on the screen.
Yeah, we're on spoilers.
Like, okay. So like the whole thing with like that whole 1800s thing is like with the very end of this, Spear he dies. He sacrifices himself, and I was like, because a part of me watching this show, just from a fitness aspect, I'm like, okay, Spear, are you fucking like Kryptonian or some shit? How are you handling all this shit? Like, what the fuck is going on here? And then like when he's like fucking goes like fire caveman Super Saiyan at the end, I'm like, you better not survive this. Oh my god, like this would be some bullshit. Like, because like every series, even though it's like a show with like a fucking caveman hanging out with a bald chick and this fucking T-Rex and shit like that, it's just like they set up this realm of reality for the world. And so like if he just like survived that, I would have been like, okay, no, get the fuck out of here. And so like the fact that he did that, and fucking Aku brings that guy back down to hell, that's what I'm just gonna call him. And then like he fucking gives his burnt hot dog to fucking Mirror before that. First of all, I gotta say, absolute respect to the dude that he could still get it up after all that shit.
Right?
That was just fucking insane. Like, I don't know how, but like, anyways, when they ended, this is one of the things I'll say this. When it ended, I liked the way it could either be a series finale or like lead into something else. Like, it's like, we can either end here. Like, you have 3 ways. You can make this the series finale. You can make this an anthology where we follow Spear and his Spear's daughter now, or you can make it okay, we're going to do this. Because I know Gendy was saying, like, after the season ended, he was saying, oh, you know what? We want to follow different characters, like that whole 1800 thing. Like, I want to show, like, there are different worlds of Primal. So it's like, oh, you could, but like if people are still like craving for like Spears, like, family and stuff like that, they could still go on with it. But
yeah. I think it's gonna be, personally for me, it would be difficult to just pivot into a complete anthology kind of setting when you've obviously set the tone of something that is episodic but still character driven. Like, we obviously follow Spear and Fang throughout this entire show.
Like Digimon to Digimon Tamers?
Sort of. Because like I think if season 1 had just been, we just followed a bunch of different characters in that world, and each episode explored, a different individual dealing, like maybe like, with like the zombie dinosaur, it was just like a completely different person who happened to be there. And like Spear and Fang were just in episode 1. So each episode was just a slice of like somebody living in this world. you kind of could have led into that a little bit easier. Obviously, like at this point, if you're a fan of Primal, you like Spear and you like Fang, and like you clearly like are interested in seeing what happens to the cast that's still there. So that seems like maybe the best path to go down. I wouldn't be opposed to having a anthology either, just because like, I mean, Gendy, you put your name on it, I'm there. Like you,
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
So
Right.
like I know it'll be great. I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, like I'm excited for the Unicorn Warriors Eternal like show that he's making.
It's fucking ridiculous. As long as we just don't keep getting these fucking Gendings. I just want like a real
Gendings.
That's good. That's good. That's perfect. Add that to Urban Dictionary. Gendings. Gendings.
Anything else to say spoiler wise?
Fang got fucked.
Yeah, she's
crazy shit. That was I wasn't expecting it. I was making jokes throughout the episode like, oh, she fucking, and then like then I was like, oh, so I was like, that was great. That one queen bitch, and okay, so this is a pet peeve of mine, and I think I said this on Twitter, and there's like this whole thing where like if you make a character so fucking despicable, I want them to have like a really horrific death. And so like there are some people who always have these things of like, oh, it's just to show that they're not worth it. All right, they're not worth an extravagant. I'm like, nah, fuck that. She her apart piece or something. It was like, you're not worth my space. I'm like, okay, cool. I guess thematically it works like that. But I was like, fuck that. I want to see her suffer. Like, I hated that character. I hated her so much. Fuck that.
It's funny how you were saying earlier, like everybody had a lot of depth and like you could understand what they're doing, and I'm like, except for her.
Yeah,
She was
queen
just
bitch.
a piece of shit.
Yeah, fucking queen bitch. Die.
All right.
Would the Saber want to say anything? Because he's been quiet.
No, I was just listening to you guys. Yeah, you all are making some good points. I rewatched Primal Theory yesterday. I liked that episode a lot. It is a very good episode, and it's a bummer that so many folks resent it, and I understand why, because it is the redheaded stepchild of the entire series, and especially with the finale. I don't know. I like to think Gendy and the folks working on this show, they make these deliberate choices for a reason. Maybe it's the finale felt so rushed because like it's supposed to make a point about how quick life can end for a person. That being said, thematically, it felt like the Viking. Wow, that was a really lots of build up. Gendy's so good at building things up, like really great anticipation.
Yeah.
I think Gendy's best strength, because this like isn't all of his shows, and every time I watch a show I just appreciate it more and more, is the fact that like this is like a weird comparison, but like Gendy's animation feels like music sometimes, whereas like the most impactful part of music is a rest, and there's tons of times in Gendy shows where things just stop for a second, and like there's silence, or there's just like quiet, or there's just like melancholy and contemplative like things, and like it lets things linger. Not a lot of shows do that, and the fact that like there will just be like minutes at a time where you just exist in this moment, and you just it lets your brain kind of meander and be like, I wonder what's going to happen next, is the best thing like that his shows do. Like it happened in Samurai Jack all the time too, where it would just hold on a shot of Jack like narrowing his eyes for like 2 or 3 seconds, and like
even have
just little moments like that. They just help pace everything. It's like a rest in music. It's just like there's flow to it, and it's so good.
What's funny is he even did it in like Dexter's lab too. Episodes was quiet, and it's just like this works. It's fucking hilarious at work.
It's so great. He has such a good handle on pacing, which is why it's always frustrating we get these Gendings where it then all falls apart.
Yeah, absolutely right. And that's the thing, is like I'm trying to see if there's something more to it. If this finale, if there's like, okay, am I looking through this as through the lens of a normie, or can I see it from Gendy's point of view? And then I rewatched it again, and I'm like, no, this just doesn't have good payoff. It felt so abrupt.
Yeah,
I don't even care.
I will say, up until the last like couple minutes, I really liked the way that they really hammered home Spears Yeah, they're really hammered. You know, Spear really got no. I really liked how they established Spear's feeling of isolation and like doing that.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
you
the
know,
whole like cave painting thing, like that was
it was
great.
like a really
Yeah.
nice way of doing it because like that's a difficult thing to really describe without a character that can really speak.
Yeah.
And um, I don't know. It just like it really landed for me, which is kind of I think that moment was like so good. It almost like makes the rushed ending even worse because it's like I want to kind of explore this part further. You know, I
Yeah.
want because like it's been an underpinning throughout the entire show. Obviously, like that's why he was so attracted to Mira in the first place because it was someone he felt like he could connect to after his family died in the very beginning. Um, but we never like he does we never get a chance to have that really addressed any further because he immediately dies after pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's kind of tragic in that sense that like he finally could have had peace, but this one dude made a pact with Satan, I guess. Lol.
Aku's ass was like, yeah, this is my brother. Some shit. Like, who the fuck was he?
Yeah, the world building went crazy because like everything felt like teetering on the edge of ridiculousness in season 1, but like still kind of like grounded in its rules it set up. This time it's just like there's all different kinds of technology. There's societies are in tons of different places. Satan is real and he's mad at Spear, and it's just like, all right, okay, we're going nuts today. So I don't know. I guess I'm sounding more negative than I actually am because I loved season 2. I loved the standalone episode. It might have been my favorite episode of the entire season, honestly. I just want more. I just want more. I always want more. I really wish we could have gotten half an hour or extra on that ending.
Yeah, I really love the London episode, like how it ended is like, and there you have it.
Yeah,
it's a funny ending.
I love how in the London episode too, where like the level of like it was like a de-evolution of like attacking, like when the guy was fighting the like crazy guy, like it was like he started with like a gun, then he went to like a weapon, like other weapons, and then his hands and shit like that, and then he got and I was like, that is fucking great. That's great visual storytelling right there. Like,
yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna take the spoiler tag off. But yeah, Primal season 2, it's really good. You should watch it. It's on Adult Swim and HBO.
I have to depart at the moment, but
yeah, I was just gonna ask if you need to leave.
Yeah, but thanks for letting me join you all. Enjoy the rest of the podcast, and you'll see my face here in the future.
All right, see ya.
Bye, boys.
All right, next thing we're gonna talk about is something that me and Tom have watched.
All right, so I haven't watched this yet. I also myself.
Okay, it's Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
Yeah.
The new Trigger anime that was commissioned by Netflix and CD Projekt Red.
Yep.
But yeah, it's only 10 episodes.
Yeah, it's a quick watch.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was surprised how much I ended up liking it.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I'd have to like rewatch some of Trigger's other stuff because like we're talking about something with like bad that don't stick the endings of their shows. Trigger is notorious for shit falling apart in the final act. I feel like Edgerunners might be their most consistent show. I felt that the ending was like somber enough to like be authentic to the source material and the themes that the genre itself talks about, and I don't think it like jumped the shark too much. I think it worked. And I think that's because like the story conception wasn't done internally by Trigger, right? Like the script was written by someone from Trigger, but I was like looking at the credits, and it was somebody not with a Japanese name that was like the story director, I believe. And that might have been a reason why that happened. But I haven't looked too deeply into it.
Yeah. With this show, because like I haven't played the game.
Yeah, me neither.
And from what I've heard, is that people who have watched this show, they're like, "Oh shit, maybe I should play the game." And apparently, like the game got a big like peak concurrent like player count on Steam because of this anime, and people, because it's been like a couple years since the game came out, so a lot of like issues that the game had when it first launched have been fixed. Which from what I've heard is that's happened with CD Projekt Red like games before, whereas like they launch kind of weird and then like years down the line is like, oh yeah.
I mean, this
so,
happened with CD Projekt Red, like I think 2 years ago when the Witcher TV series came out. Witcher 3 fucking did gangbusters on Steam again.
Yeah.
So it's a business strategy at this point for them.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed it. Like the animation's like really good. It's very, very. I mean, like it's Trigger, so of course it will be.
Yeah, of course. Like they can do no wrong when it comes to just animating.
But
like
it's as far as like a Trigger anime though, like this is the most violent I've seen them be with an anime before. Because
it's
like
it's definitely very graphic.
Yeah, because Trigger's like done like Kill la Kill, Little Witch Academia, trying to think of what was the last thing they did. Because I know they worked a bit on Darling the Franxx, but they weren't like the only studio that was working on that.
Yeah.
Also like Space Patrol Luluco, which was like a little short series, and that was kind of funny. But I've never seen them do something this violent, and they're very good at it.
Oh yeah, I mean, they can animate anything at this point. I'm sure it's fucking Trigger.
Yeah,
they can do no wrong in that regard. Yeah, I mean the characters are really good. I feel like it kind of like this is like a very like broad, I guess, comparison, but it kind of reminded me in terms of like following a young character with who kind of like grows up throughout the show and has like
BNA. That was the other one. That was the other one that had like has like a weird ending. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean I liked the ending of BNA just because it was like literally furry Godzilla.
Right.
But I mean, objectively, it is not very. Like, all the characters change who they are, and none of the world building makes any fucking sense by the end. Yeah, it turns into a mess. But the characters' arcs in the show were kind of like Gurren Lagann in a sense.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's not like a very unique archetype in Gurren Lagann, anyways. But like considering like most of Gainax moved on to form Studio Trigger, it's interesting to see them tackle those like archetypes again. But in a much more somber, less optimistic resolution,
Yeah. Which, like you said, it fits well with the themes of the genre of like cyberpunk stuff.
Yeah,
it's
I mean, are we in
never
spoilers?
very bright.
Should we talk about more stuff?
I'm gonna put a spoiler tag up. So if you haven't seen the show, it's on Netflix. It's really good. We'll go into spoilers here, so I have the spoiler tag up. But big spoiler, most everybody dies.
Yeah, which is funny because I was kind of expecting it to do like I wonder how Dave is gonna fucking trigger his way out of this shit, but no, they stick to it. I mean, I was shocked that like they fucking just off Rebecca at the end in the most unceremonious way. That's the thing. When people die in the show, there's no gravitas to it. It's just like done.
Yeah.
Which
the
again,
most
theme.
the most like I guess the death that has like the most weight to it was like Maine's like death when he was like you saw him like going through the cyber psychosis thing. That was like a very dramatic death.
Oh yeah, I think it needed to be because that was obviously such an impactful moment for David and basically everybody in the kind of like Netrunner crew and whatever, like just having to deal with him being gone because he was at the linchpin that kept everyone working. But yeah, everybody else who dies, it's very unceremonious and it just worked. It works with the story they're trying to tell. Like, because that's kind of the entire point. It's like when you go down this path, like you're basically going to burn yourself out inevitably at some point. And it happens to pretty much everybody.
Yeah. It definitely seems like an allegory for addiction.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And like a lot of cyberpunk stuff does that. Like even to a far less effective degree, Deus Ex Human Revolution had the same sort of thing where like you had to basically become addicted to a drug in order to accept augmentations and stuff. They don't explore that very deeply, unfortunately, but yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's not a particularly complicated story or complicated characters, but they're all done very well, and the animation is really good. I watched it dubbed, which I don't usually do. The dub wasn't too bad. There were some issues where they were trying to keep up with the text crawls, because when they usually have conversations over like communicators,
Yeah.
it shows the text on screen. And I don't know if it's because there's like a lot of like made up slang and jargon.
Yeah,
Like they call each other choom
preem,
and shit.
choom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if like the way that they were writing was another reflection of that, because like Cyberpunk 2077 is itself based on a tabletop RPG. So there's like a whole rabbit hole of shit that I know nothing about. But there was a lot of like weird stuttering text, and it seemed like either English VAs were trying to keep up with the way the text crawl was, and made it sound very unnatural. And like one scene in particular that was kind of like an emotional crux near the end, and I was kind of getting taken out of it a bit.
Yeah, it was weird because like it shows on the text crawl like with the text and everything, whereas like it shows the word like twice a lot.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if
that was like
I'm not sure if that's
thing or not.
Yeah, if that's a thing with like how their brain works, like communicating with each other.
Yeah, I don't.
Whereas
know.
like it's
it
an
happen
automatic
all the time,
stutter.
though.
It's weird.
It was very strange.
But yeah, one VA I was surprised to see in this was Giancarlo Esposito, like the guy from Breaking Bad and a bunch of other stuff. I was like, wait, he's a VA in this? That's weird. He played a Faraday, one of the antagonists, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think there's any other spoiler thing I wanted to talk about. So I'm gonna take that off. But yeah, cool. Cyberpunk 2077 Edgerunners. I think I think a lot of companies now are realizing like, oh, if we adapt like our game into like a show, that'll get people to play our game.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, well, this worked apparently, because people were like, at least if it's a good show, that is.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing
it's not doing really well with Halo.
Oh well, look. Halo has a lot of problems besides their adaptation. 343 is just the most incompetent game studio ever.
Yeah.
Which is impressive considering you have like fucking EA and Activision. But talk about dropping the ball consistently. It's really embarrassing. But that's a whole other story. Aside from Halo though, like video game adaptations have been pretty good. Between this and Arcane, like we're eating good. Fucking holy shit.
Yeah. All right. Gonna move on to our last topic before Q&A, and that is the whole Twitch thing, which Twitch has been in the news a lot this month.
Oh yeah, Twitch is twitching it up as they do.
Yeah. The main thing I wanted to talk about though was the whole letter they sent out, or newsletter they sent out about the pay cut.
Fucking embarrassing.
Yeah. So what they did is they sent out a newsletter saying like, oh yeah, you know that whole like 70-30 thing we had for like certain partners? That's gonna be gone completely. Like everybody's gonna be 50-50. Like no, like because like people have been asking Twitch for like, why don't you just do like everybody 70-30? Like just makes sense. Like every other site does it. As far as like, donations and stuff. But no, they're like, nah, we're gonna do 50-50 because server costs and bandwidth and stuff, even though we're owned by fucking Amazon. Because like Twitch is not profitable for Amazon, so they're like, here, we're gonna take more money. And also force more ads.
Yeah, and especially, I think it's hilarious that like the week before YouTube announces, "Hey, you're going to be able to monetize content with licensed music now. We've made a deal with like music distributors."
Which is so weird. Like, I was like, "What?
Good guy YouTube, what is happening?
What the fuck?"
It's like, oh, we're opening up the partner program to Shorts, so you can actually monetize short form content, unlike on TikTok, where you have to get accepted into their fucking partner program. Like, YouTube making moves, and then Twitch is like, "We took a revolver and shot our foot, haha, tee."
Yeah.
And it's like, good job. Yeah, it was so fucking tone deaf.
It's so crazy too, because like with them like trying to force like ads and stuff. I've heard from like the streamers that I watch on Twitch that like their revenue from ads is abysmal. Like compared to YouTube, because like YouTube is all focused on recorded content, like pre-made content that you just put up.
Right.
So YouTube's a little bit behind in the streaming like sphere, even though it's like one of the most popular sites in the world. But yeah, like the CPM for ads on Twitch is like nothing compared to YouTube.
Right. And like you don't even want to run ads on there anyways, because like
Right.
it's like a lot of people have said, like you interrupt a live broadcast and like people could potentially miss important moments.
Right. And you can't like like on YouTube, it's like you can just pause a stream and come back to it later and then watch the rest of it.
I didn't even
You
know until
can't
this
do that on
controversy-
Twitch for some reason?
I didn't even know on Twitch caps at 1080. I didn't even know you can't do any 4K streaming on Twitch. And I was like, do fuck?
Well,
For
I know
real?
that like I know Teggy streams at 1440.
It's just like, I don't know. This just seems like such a thing. You would think that Twitch being like just a live stream platform would have the best live stream tech,
Right.
but they don't. And we've talked about this a little bit. What Twitch has right now is the culture. They have
Right.
the culture.
It has the best chat. Like there's
It has the best chat.
Yeah, there's still
and that's
still
really the most important part, because the only reason
Yeah.
you watch streams is to interact with people and feel like you're part of something, not so much to watch the content itself. So I don't think Twitch is going to die, but I think they're going to continue eroding faith in their platform. Amazon has not been a great steward for Twitch, which
Yeah.
big fucking surprise. Yeah, I don't know. I know a lot of streamers like in the last year have moved over to YouTube exclusively.
Yeah, there's a lot of
And-
streamers I'm following that are like, oh yeah, we're gonna try out some YouTube stuff because like they don't have their channels monetized yet, so it's like we gotta monetize this immediately.
So like the question I guess becomes like, what is going to end up being more important, having that dynamic chat or having the ability to just like be more financially stable and get off the ground quicker?
Right.
I really think if YouTube can add some more chat features, and for the love of fucking God, just make separate tabs for shorts and streams on your channel.
Yeah,
Like
that's one of
Twitch-
the biggest
Twitch would
problems.
die.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest problems with streamers, and their concern about moving to YouTube is that YouTube's very bad at discovering streams.
Mhm.
It's good at discovering videos, but not streams.
Right. I mean, but to play devil's advocate, Twitch is terrible at discovery too.
Yeah, it is.
It's hard to get into streamers just because, like, how do you do that? How do you jump into like a stream that's like an hour in?
Yeah.
You know, it's tough, especially if you're trying to like mostly be a personality where the game is irrelevant. Like Twitch made more sense, I think, when it first started, where you really were just like watching people for gameplay, and it's like, okay, I'm into Valorant,
Right.
or I guess at the time I'm into League or I'm into CS. It's like I'm just gonna like browse through CS, who's playing CS. But now when like the point of it is more like I want to go interact with a personality that I enjoy, your discovery needs to be better because your platform's not built on people, not on performance in games. And they haven't really adjusted to that very well.
Right.
Do better, Twitch. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It's
But they won't.
We'll see what happens between that and YouTube. Because I hope YouTube's not gonna be like, wait a minute. We should change our thing to 50-50.
I don't think so. I mean, their AdSense split's already 55-45, but I
Yeah.
don't think they'll change like donos or anything.
Yeah.
If they do, they'll be in for a world of hurt.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go back to our big webcams here. And we'll go to Q&A. We already have a couple of super chats, and I have some Twitter questions here. So I'll go ahead and go over those. Daily Teen asking, what would you eat from now on? Apple or banana? I like apples better.
Yeah, agreed.
That's hard.
Jax gets to
they're
starve
both nice.
because he can't eat either.
Apples, probably.
Yeah, I would just starve to death.
From Malik Webster says, "Remember Squadzilla? Good times, good times."
Fun fact.
baby, back
Fun fact.
2020.
Having to watch Godzilla's Revenge is what killed Squadzilla. We just couldn't get around to watching it.
That's true.
Because that was the movie we stopped on. Just like
it was true.
Saber didn't know the bullet he dodged, but me and Jax were just like, "Oh, do we have to?" And now it's like a year later, and we're just like, "No, I guess not."
No, we don't. It is over.
So.
I had a question from Twitter here from Major Mekazawa asking, this is pretty much a Jax question. Says, since One Piece is nearing the end and Bleach is coming back in October, what are your opinions on each of the Shonen Jump's big 3 series in retrospect, now that we're roughly 10 to 15 years removed from their peak popularity?
Ugh.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay, so One Piece is still the best, in my opinion. Like, I think, like, One Piece, okay, so they each win at something. Like, Bleach has the best, like, drip aesthetic style, stuff like that. Like, there's just, like, stuff with that. Naruto has the best choreography for martial arts scenes. Like, when it comes to, like, hand-to-hand choreography, Naruto is the GOAT. And then One Piece just is just so great at, like, so many different things. I think is amazing. What's hilarious to me, though, is it's just the switch up people do with Bleach, because so many people hate the final arc of Bleach in the manga, like they were talking shit on it. But the fact that Bleach is finally coming back after all these years, like, oh, we finally get to see this anime, and it's just like, y'all hated this, right? Like, y'all didn't like. Okay, whatever. I mean, like, I'm just gonna
revisionist history.
Yeah, revisionist history, I guess. No, but that's what it is. Like, I'm very curious, because, like, I know for a fact there are so many tweets and stuff like the day, like, oh yeah, Bleach's manga is not that great, it's not that whatever. But because the animation and nostalgia bug hit people, it's like, oh god, I can't wait for this arc. So that's gonna be interesting to see. Again, like, I'll definitely check it out, because there are definitely some scenes I want to see in it. But overall, I think they're, like, each really good in their own way. And again, like with Bleach, again, I think what hurts it the most is its padding and its filler. Like, if you rewatch some of the episodes, it's just like, yeah, it's just the padding, I think. And then, like, some stuff with the story later on, like with Ichigo. Like, if you put Ichigo in literally any show, he'll have the bloodline of it. Like, if you put Ichigo in Dragon Ball, there'd be some shit like where it's like, oh yeah, well, apparently one of his ancestors was a Saiyan who hooked up with one of the angels, and now he has like a milligram of that blood in his body, which allows him to transform into, because like he just had the shit like that. But it's crazy. Yeah, they're all really like dope in their own way, though.
Okay. A couple of super chats here. Brandon King asking, "What's your opinion on the mob recasting drama?"
Oh, I don't know the full story. I know Katie knows the full story, but from what I heard, like it's this Crunchyroll is recasting voices, but I don't know the specific reason why. So if someone in the chat knows, they can probably talk on it.
From what I read, is because like the VA was part of a union.
Oh, is it like that same thing they did with I forget the other anime, but like there was this anime is this girl, the girl with the big ass forehead who likes teasing the boy.
Yeah.
Like they had like two
Karakai Joe's Takaki-san.
What's the English dub version of that?
Teasing Takagi-san? I don't know.
Teasing Takagi-san, yeah. Okay, yeah, that like teasing Takagi-san. So season 1 was done by Funimation, and then season 2 was done by Netflix. So, and they changed the voice cast completely. So I wonder if if he's voicing the union, I guess that's what's going on there. That sucks.
Yeah.
Damn.
Mako Wacko asking, who's worse, Sparky or the baby from Ice Age?
Like Sparky from Fairly Odd Parents?
No, Sparky from the Make Your Mark.
Make Your Mark, definitely. The Ice Age baby was pretty chill. Yeah. He was just a baby, like literally. He was just a baby,
just a a regular human baby.
Yeah,
Sparky's an annoying, annoying little weird,
weird thing. Fucking disgusting.
Annoying little weird thing.
Yeah.
I hate him.
Nathaniel Foga asking on Twitter, what would you guys say is your funniest / favorite convention moment from this year?
Funniest?
I liked laughing at the fact that we were comparing AC Race Best to Homelander. Like,
Oh yeah, that was
when
funny.
me and Jax were watching the first 3 episodes of The Boys for season 3.
Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah,
hilarious.
that was super funny. It was super funny. Yeah, I mean it was cool that like everyone went out to MomoCon even though we like didn't get to see some people. That was fun. Uh Pizza. Oh no, I don't like the pizza because it fucking scarred me for weeks. So I mean yeah, it was so far I've only been to 2 cons this year, so I was just yeah. It, I would say like the Homelander thing was probably the hardest I have laughed at a con. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. But it was also fun to be in like the room and then like just go through the entire of who would you bang thing with like Gabe and like
Yeah,
Nesca
that was
and like
fun.
everyone there like and then like I'm sad we didn't get the water bottle in front of the crowd for Hero, but yeah.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even get into the panel anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered, I guess.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's right. Because like it was
Yeah,
full.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nathaniel gave me a Vegeta plush. It's in my like box right now, like right there, across from me. Nice. And the Lola Bunny figure, yeah. Hell yeah, I still got it near me.
Let's see. Suggestion for a future for what's ruining videos in the future. Could you do a what's ruining the Loud House later on? That's probably a question for Saber. But
Nick
I haven't caught up with Loud House, so.
Yeah, apparently Loud House is like gone downhill. Apparently, like, you know what's funny is like me and my friend, we were like fucking crying, laughing, talking about like old school SpongeBob, like season 1 to 3 SpongeBob. Like the fact that like
it's very funny.
Those fucking like the fact that like those fucking people beat the shit out that old man for like 3 times.
Yeah.
How many times I have to tell you this old man?
I love the young people.
He just beat the fucking bricks off. It's just so fucked up. Oh no, but like yeah, like season 1 of SpongeBob, like seasons 1 to 3 of SpongeBob, just funny shows the history. But like nowadays, I don't think SpongeBob is that good. But like it's the same thing with a lot of shows on Nicktoons. Nicktoons just has that way of like burning them out. In a way, it's kind of a double-edged sword because like with Rise of the TMNT, it kind of makes you go like maybe it is good that you ended when you did because it's just like because like
can't get ruined.
Yeah, I mean, though to be fair, the 5 seasons. Okay, but like that was 2012 to 2017, and then like everything recently has been going there because like 2012 TMNT started off good and got gradually better. So like that ended in 2017. So maybe if it's their more serious shows, but then like you think of Korra Book 4, which a lot of people are mixed on. So it's just like so we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah. Loud House sucks.
Another one from Cartoon Network Fanatic saying, "What's your guys' favorite lost media, and what lost media did you like that was found this year so far?" Because there was a lot of stuff that was found this year.
Well, like a VHS.
Well, like recently, like the pilot for the American Sailor Moon was found.
Oh yeah.
That was tough. Okay.
Yeah. And also like the Popeye animatic leaked. That's. I'm not sure if that was lost media or just like leaked media, but okay. I enjoyed that.
Nice.
Man, you know what? I would love to have be leaked. The animatic / however far they got into that Mouse Guard movie.
Yep.
Wouldn't it be great?
Yeah.
We can find it.
What is the name of that? God, it was really nicely animated. I just can't remember what it's called. The guy has like checkerboard pants or whatever, and he has like needles in his mouth. What's it called again?
What, the
Thief
monster?
Yeah, Thief and the Cobbler.
Yeah.
Does that count? I like that one.
But didn't that come out fully?
Yeah, well, it wasn't lost. It's just like, oh yeah, it was unfinished, and these like other animators are gonna finish it. So like,
a naked lady. Remember that? Fucking the criminal.
Naked lady. Yeah.
Oh, naked lady.
Yeah, that was the weird like version of it.
See that's imprinted on my brain now. So whenever I watch that scene and it doesn't have that, I'm like, fuck you. Okay. And you are why I'm gonna go to Disneyland. Fucking whatever.
So a question here from Ozzyall saying, okay, this is it. The teaser trailer for the Mario movie will premiere on October 6th at New York Comic Con. Are you guys ready for this? I'm not.
No.
I'm not
No.
ready.
Do you think they're gonna pitch his voice?
I don't know. Like I don't know what they're doing for them because like they said like, oh yeah, it's not gonna be like anything like you've heard Mario sound like before. So I'm like, oh no, I'm scared.
Well, you know, okay, this is literally what the trailer is gonna do. They're gonna do some shit where he's just like, "Mamma mia, Bowser!" It's like, oh, I'm sorry, what the fuck? And it's just like, yo,
I'm
that's
gonna
not
fucking
cool.
hate it if they do that.
I feel like that is exactly what is gonna happen.
And then like
still
fucking
have no
Bowser's
doubt.
like, hello, I'm just Bowser because it's Jack Black doing his voice. Or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My doom and gloom tweet, I still stand by, where it's going to be an isekai, where Chris Pratt's is going to be a normal everyday dad. He's like, I don't understand why my son likes video games so much. And he gets isekai'd and gets transported into Mario's body, and then he has to learn to respect video games. And it's going to be the worst thing ever.
Right. No, it's just gonna be like, and it's just like, is that supposed to happen? I don't know.
Yeah.
Some bullshit.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're gonna do like if they're gonna have him try to do like an Italian accent, or if they're going to have like a Brooklyn accent, like old Mario.
Or what if he has no accent? It's just Chris Pratt. He's just gonna sound like Emmett.
Just Emmett? Yeah,
It's just gonna be
the Lego
Emmett.
movie.
There you go. Whoa, this is crazy. And then who is like Charlie Day's Luigi? Like, what are you fucking crazy, Mario? Okay, I want my milk steak. Let me get my milk steak. What are you doing?
That's the one like casting that I kind of saw. I was like, that could work probably. Like,
I mean, like Princess Peach is that girl from the Vivitch, right?
Yeah,
I mean, how can you mess up Princess Peach's voice? Just be a woman.
Mario.
Let's be a woman.
Yeah. There we go. Put that in quote tweets. That pending.
Just be a woman. Jack's
There
Blade.
you go. Just it's so bad out of context.
All right. Well, that's it for this POS podcast. The next show will be on the 10th. Oh, that's my dad's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, POS podcast is back. Thanks for coming out, everybody. We'll see you next time on the 10th then. So bye.
Dead Podies, that's the wrong shit. Fuck.
That's the wrong